Okay, next up is Cathi Hallock on Island Green. Ms. Hallock.
Hello, you may remember me. I was here a couple of weeks ago, and you guys responded to me really well, and we're very grateful for that. However, I'm here tonight on a related issue. 5 years ago, my home was not in a flood zone, but it is now. And it's primarily due to changes in the environment, including, but not limited to, irresponsible development. There's development without focus on safety. Horry County has safety boards, planning boards, commissions, all kinds of rules, regulations, ordinances to protect the public. And yet, sometimes, some of these unsafe building practices seem to go through anyway. Even as we're searching for solutions to the problems at Island Green, and several of you have spoken to me about that, and we're trying to work on that. Even though that's going on right now, they've approved some building in a development that's directly attached to us, which has a plan for the stormwater to come down through Peach Creek, which already floods. So if you're trying to help us on one end, why are you letting something like this go on at the other end? It doesn't make sense. Recently, we had a rainstorm. It was just your typical rainstorm. All right, it was heavy, but it wasn't a tornado. It wasn't a hurricane. It wasn't even a tropical depression. And we had so much flooding, people were standing up to their thighs in water. The pond behind near where I live had risen much faster than it did even after Florence. So we know that that creek is not enough now. By approving more water to go in through there, and these buildings are being built in Myrtle Beach Yacht Club and also Cypress River. There was a pre-construction meeting held on August 18th with Horry County Stormwater, and they issued a permit on the 19th for this plan. If you look at the plan, I'm sure you've got copies of it, it says they're going to feed it right in through Island Green into Peach Creek. Let's see where I am here. When we were here 2 months ago, I gave out a hydrological, I'm not very good at saying that word, hydrological report by Dr. Emmerman. And the study showed that there were significant flooding issues in our area. We contacted Dr. Emmerman and showed him the plans for this additional building in these other two communities. And he said, it's going to flood you out. It's absolutely going to flood you out. It's ludicrous. I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I stand here and I tell you that it's very likely that some of this flooding could result in loss of property, injuries to people, and even possible deaths of residents. The last time we flooded, we had a hard time getting people out of there. We shouldn't have to worry about getting people out. You know, I'm not the one that knows about water, but I can see that if it's already flooding, you don't add more. Okay? I'm asking you to look at the big picture, not just look at one little proposal at a time, but to look how it affects the entire area. I'm asking you to be proactive instead of reactive. It's actually cheaper, you know. If you're proactive, you avoid the problem before you have to repair it. I'm asking you to change the plan for the stormwater in the Myrtle Beach and the Cypress River plan. If you can't find a plan that's not going to feed into the river and not going to protect the people that already live there, then don't build. I mean, it's that simple. If you can find a plan, by all means, do it. I know you want to build, I get it, but not at the cost of other people's welfare. That's not okay. Residents are trying to protect their property. People are moving here in droves. Builders are struggling to keep up the demand. I get it. But they have a right to expect a safe home, a safe place. They have a right to expect that things are done the way they're supposed to be. So I'm asking you now in front of all these people sitting here in this public forum to make public safety the top priority, absolute top priority. Allowing any development that's going to put somebody in danger is just plain wrong. We just said a prayer about it a minute ago. I was serious when I said that prayer. So I'm hoping you were too. Thank you so much. I hope you review it and look at it and see the logic of it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right. Next up is Katrina Morrison. They were applauding you already. Flooding on Island Green.
Good evening, members of council, members of the public. My name is Katrina Morrison. I just want to read something on the tail of what Cathi just was discussing. There is a requirement, suitability of land, when the Planning Commission is looking at anything. It says the Planning Commission shall not approve the development of land if that land intended for building sites cannot be used safely for building purposes without being in danger of flood or other inundation or other menace to the health, safety, or public welfare. That is not what's happening. We're not assessing the suitability of land. Now, it's not just for zoning, rezoning, or planning. It's for design modification. So someone once said to me, design modification is the legal way to get by the law. It's a legal way to circumvent the law so developers get what they want. Now, that may or may not be true, but when we're speaking of Island Green, it's absolutely true. So we have a master plan, 20 plus years old, maybe 30 or more, 23 homeowners, private roads, 23 HOAs, an intricate mess of private roads. And during last month, we learned that the only way there will ever be two ways in and out, which, by the way, for the past 20 years has been a requirement for any development with more than 100 homes, might even be 50. This development, these 23 developments, have 1,700 homes. Now, we were also told during last month that those developments were not going to continue. They were at a standstill. But then we learned 2 weeks ago that standstill is only after they put up another 128. So while we have 1,700 people in danger, guaranteed flooding, well known to everyone, we're still putting up another 128 homes. And this month, we just approved another 128 more in a surrounding development, which is clearly sending their stormwater into Island Green. Now, I'm not so sure how this happens, so I've come here tonight to ask. Accountability is the question at the end of the day. If a plan is brought to the planning department of Horry County and the land is not sustainable or suitable for what they're proposing, does the planning department have the right to deny the application? If they do, it should be denied. Clearly, we all can see what's coming in a flood. We all can see all the problems at Island Green. This was discussed last month, both at Public Safety and INR. Everyone is aware of the problem. So why, on any level, would we 30 days less, not even 2 weeks later, put through 128 homes and their stormwater runoff to go into Island Green? So we said Island Green wouldn't have any more, so we just allowed the neighboring properties to do it. And by the way, the same engineering company. There is something to be said for good governance. I have a great deal of respect for every member sitting on this council. However, the best sign of good governance is people willing to follow the law. The problem is we have developers, engineering companies, wetlands and forestry companies. It's their job to circumvent the law, and they're doing a very good job. So I'm asking this council to find a way to put a stop to it. There is no reason we can't have an ordinance that prevents the master plans that are 20 years old to still be looked at. Why can we not say that if we're going to get a design modification, it must be brought to the public and to council before it's approved? We do have the ability to stop this, and I'm asking you all to look into how it is this new stormwater from a surrounding development could possibly be put through Island Green. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, and for your information. To say, you may not be able to hear it if you're clapping. Ms. Morrison, you'll be happy to hear that Mr. Al is going to take this issue up at the next INR meeting on September 13th, and we hope you'd attend. Mr. Crawford? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you till just now.
I was just going to say that I certainly do sympathize with some of the dilemma that with the dilemmas that Island Green has faced. I know we're going to have an on-site meeting, so I just wanted to make sure that I asked Tom and our stormwater department head and David Jordan just to hear the community out, and so that we can try and address their issues on site there in the near future. But anyway, we will do our best to work with you. Thank you.
Excellent point. Thank you, sir. All right.